Hey friends, I have your daily dose of hope. And today we are going to focus on women who are giving me hope. So let's get into it. First, I'm going to give this woman all the credit in the world for not showing up to the event on Monday, not pretending like what was happening was okay, and saying, you know what, I'm sitting this one out. That is my act of defiance. I'm not going to go there and pretend that any of this is all right. I'm not going to stand there and clap for that man and pretend like I support any of what is happening right now. Go on, hubby. You go on by yourself. I'm not standing up there next to you. Good for her. I am all about this, and thank you for always speaking truth to power. And thank you for not showing up and representing those of us who just didn't want any of it. Next is a video, one of many, that AOC has put up on her page today. She had been quiet for a while, and I'm so happy to have her back and to have her voice here on this app. And I want to give you a little portion of what she said, and it's really about building community, sticking together, and not being quiet. And I'm really happy that she's back and she's being a light in these dark times.
We will sustain one another, and it is important that we continue to signal to one another what we believe, because if we get quiet and if we feel like we're just going to sit back, then everyone around us is going to think that everyone has given up. And I do not sense that energy. People may be a little quiet, but I think it's because people are reorganizing themselves. Like I said, we are getting more sophisticated now too. We're going to conserve our energy and understand when a distraction is a distraction. And we're going to use our energy on the things that we believe matter. We have to stick together. We cannot turn on each other.
Next is a bishop who looked directly into the orange man's face and asked him to have compassion, asked him to have mercy. She was very brave to do what she did. And as I have said, it is about holding the light. It is about speaking truth to power. It is about finding ways to resist and finding ways to defy. So let's hear some of her words, and you can see his reaction in real time.
In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands.
I just want to share something I noticed when I just rewatched that. Every time JDV looked at his wife to try to get her attention because he was clearly uncomfortable with what was happening, she ignored him. She refused to look back at him. She kept her focus on the bishop and what the bishop was saying and even nodded in agreement. I know I've said this before, but there is a piece of me, if I were to write this story, I would make her a mole. I would make her a whistleblower. I would make her someone who took everything down from the inside. I'm not saying that that's a prediction. I'm just reading body language, and she's not all in. That's all I have to say. All right, moving on to the next thing. This I saw today, and it gave me hope that it is possible for us to reach people who seem unreachable. This woman was one of the rioters on J6 who was actually convicted. She pled guilty. And she was also one of the people who was pardoned on Monday. And she refused the pardon. And this is what she had to say about it.
I want to be a part of helping them rewrite history. I was guilty.
So
I pleaded guilty. I was guilty.
So you are happy for your conviction to stand?
Absolutely.
What was it that made you take part in the Capitol riot in the first place? What drove you to do it?
You don't realize it at the time. I know now that MAGA is a cult. And you just start listening to all the lies. But later when as I found out, all of this has been nothing but propaganda and lies.
And finally, I'm going to leave you with this. Stacey Dixon is set to be the acting director of national intelligence. Now, this is unique. This is unexpected because she was actually a JB appointee. And the Orange Man had to pick somebody to be the acting director of national intelligence because his appointee has not been confirmed yet by the Senate. So they had to have somebody in this position. And the fact that this woman is in charge is giving me hope. You can read a little bit more above my head about this. Now, if you remember correctly, one of the things that we were waiting for was a DNI report. That is Director of National Intelligence, that person's report about what happened on 11/5. And the fact that this woman is now going to be the person who is still leading the way on that is a really, really good thing and should definitely give you hope that whatever was started in the fall could potentially be continued to completion now. They haven't even started the confirmation hearing process on his appointee. So more than likely, we're a couple months away from that person being installed, just based on previous timing. You should know, within 120 days of 11/5, action needs to be taken, which gets us to March 5th. And I know that feels very far away, but a lot can happen between now and then. I'm just letting you know that we have someone there who is an ally, potentially, who wants, potentially, to finish what was started. We have a good shot at it. So I want you to keep the faith. Sending you love, sending you solidarity. Until the next one.